Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the feedback on last semester. It is good to see everyone here. For the new faces, yeah, you deserve Emily. She's way better than I am as a lecturer, but unfortunately, you have me for the semester. But I'll do everything in my power to make sure that we do really well. I think just to start sharing some of the stuff that I've updated now, what I've tried to do is just almost rethink our approach, because that exam caused me severe nightmares. I panicked over that exam, and I honestly felt at some point that maybe I've not done enough to help you guys. But I think we couldn't predict what it was. So what I've done now is I've adopted a new approach. So I do know the format from first semester because I lectured the subject in first semester. And I've set up these packs for you to work from. Now, these packs don't replace your lectures. These packs certainly don't. Hold on a second. I just want to stop the transcription. These packs certainly don't replace the stuff that is on the platform where you have the different learning units and the content to work through. But what it allows us to do, it allows us to, if you want to take it further, it allows us to look at new summaries, which you'll see I've given it for each of these summaries. I've got the slides remain exactly the same, but you'll see what these packs do is they highlight those key points. Insofar as the approach, we saw these kind of short case studies. So I've created these case studies. Insofar as those case studies go, I loaded examples of the questions we got in first semester, and I then essentially had, and ChatGPT did this for me, create these questions based on the format that we had used. So this has taken forever because ChatGPT just don't do it. It's a lot of input and fixing. It took a heck of a lot of time. So there are case studies here. I want us going forward to almost use these case studies as a way of going through the notes. So I'll still lecture, but you'll get a chance, if you can, to look at these questions beforehand. Again, remember, based on what the format was for the exam in first semester, and we work our way through this using these case studies. So there still will be lectures, but it gives us an application element to it, and hopefully get us more prepared for the exam. So you'll see, oh, thank you for the heart there, Lolita. I appreciate that. So you'll see examples of each of the cost strategies, the generic strategies there. And as we go down, I have these kinds of ideas for myself and my fellow lecturers. But you'll see we start looking at sample answers to test that you can test yourself again. And then we have additional exam questions. So everything is geared towards this exam. The other thing that I've done is, and I haven't uploaded the ICE tasks, and my apologies for that, because I've redone the ICE tasks using the same format. So when you do the ICE task, you'll encounter the exam format as part of the ICE tasks. So I have done a heck of a lot of work to try and get this as close to the exam as possible. You'll see there are questions, etc., to just say they don't place the lectures. However, if you cannot make a lecture, you can go through this on your own. It's additional sources, guys. I'm trying to trial this because this is how I ran the master's program. Obviously, the M was at a much higher level, and the questions were vastly different to the questions here. But you'll encounter that when you guys join me after doing your honors with me. When you do your master's, you see I'm already selling your future here. But that is the approach that I thought we would take. I don't know if you have any suggestions or any feedback on this, guys. But it does the additional summaries. Oh, nice. Goodness, I like that. I like that very much. So there are, we call it the strategy room. So we treat this as business cases. We work through these together. Ideally, before each class, I would love for you to just look at the case studies so you can just familiarize yourself with the case studies if you can get time for that. And then we work through these together. It really is very different to anything I've done in the past. And it also gets me away from the park and bark approach, where I sit and I sit here and lecture slides, and you guys sit as passive recipients of that. Not that any of my classes people are passive recipients. So we'll only see how well it goes. I mean, you are the first undergrad class that that are actually doing this, and it's going to be interesting to get the feedback at the end of the module, and we'll also see whether it improves our pass rates. I'm looking at comments at the bottom there, guys. Yeah. So I'm hoping that it gives us a greater chance at these exams. I'm not a big fan of exams that are a surprise. So whenever I create exams, I make sure that I provide guidelines so that when a student opens the exam, they go, oh, this is what I expected. I think what had happened in the exam is we were surprised. Because when I was surprised, then you must know what the students were going through when they opened that paper the first time. Like that, Azra. Yeah, thank you for that, guys. So hopefully this is something new, and hopefully this works for us. We test it. I think it is going to work. Please, however, prior to each lecture, can you please just spend a bit of time on doing and reading through the cases, because this is a bit of a journey that we have to go through. And I am quite excited about this, to be honest with you. Right. Having said that, yeah. So, well, to me, I think they're trying to make the exams more application based. But if you're going to make the exams application based, in your exam guidelines, tell me what the exam will look like. Don't give me exam guidelines that are completely divorced from the actual exam. I don't know if that makes sense. For me, that was the issue. The exam guidelines did not mirror the exam. These mirror the exam. They might not be perfect, but it is a new approach. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to these kinds of things. So I'm going to do the strategy room thing tonight. Now, obviously, we can't do everything perfectly because we will work through these. But I think if you can, for next week, just take a glance at these and just work through it. For me, I think this is going to work. It starts a new way of doing things. I hope that it works really well, in fact. Okay. I like that, Lolita. I like that. Yeah, I'll see what JD has. Okay, so guys, I think when we look at organizations, I think one of the challenges, no, not at all, JD. We don't know what's in the exam at this stage. So that I wouldn't have. But what I have would be what you know, just would get our minds geared towards the exam. Yeah, no, I don't have the case studies for the exam yet. I mean, they might give us the first semester case studies that I had, but I'm not risking that at all. Those are things that make me panic when I risk that. Right. So let us take a glance and we'll mix and match this with the slides today. Let me see very quickly. What is the most important thing to you when you buy an item? What is the single most important thing to you when you buy an item? What do you look for when you purchase items? And there's a catch in that question. So quality is absolutely essential. I think the reality, when we think of quality with modern technology, every item we buy should be faultless because we've had such significant advances in tech that we should have zero defect at this point. So when something arrives at our door, we must know that it will work first time, every time, and then it will last. So value has to be part of it, guys. If you think of what's happening at the moment, again, in the Strait of Hormuz, where we're going to have an interruption with the oil flow. The oil price is already jumping. I mean, life gets very, very expensive in South Africa and is very expensive in South Africa. I'm appalled at the price of groceries. I'm appalled at 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 the fact that I'm paying for stuff on special that was the most expensive price I would have paid for an item a year or two ago. Those are the kinds of things that irritate me. How tough is life in South Africa at the moment on a scale of 1 to 10 from an affordability perspective? How tough is life at the moment? It's a thousand goodness over the scale. Yeah, it is at 10. And it's hitting. Guys, imagine we assume that we all upper middle class. If as middle and upper middle class people are saying how tough life is, imagine being at the lower ends of income brackets. And then you add to that the fact that SARS takes so much money from us. It's become a sideshow. And then you add to the fact that municipal services aren't delivered. So we have to pay garden services. I have a garden service and I have a gardener. So this is not easy to survive in South Africa. And if we are saying 10 out of 10 and 1,000 out of 10, um, we know that other people are feeling it as well. So the reality is, people want good value. And then, guys, for me, and I'm going through that, I like the idea of price, and then functionality. If I purchase something and it promises in the advert that it will do certain things, I want it to do those things. To me, that's non-negotiable, that it does what it claims to do. And I think sometimes we see adverts that oversell what an item can do. And when an item arrives, you're getting Timu quality. Can I also just say, Timu is annoying me. They keep sending me WhatsApps saying your basket is full of free gifts, etc. And I'm going, this is 10 o'clock at night. I'm getting my WhatsApp bing from Timu. Now I've blocked that number, so I'm trying to see if they're going to find a new number to get hold of me. Who here buys from Timu? Anyone here buy from Timu? Nope. It's never free. JD, it is never free. You are 100%. Blocked Timu, same here now. Same here. Blocked Timu. Yeah, had to block Timu. Anyone here buy from Sheen? I don't know if I'm saying that, pronouncing that correct. Azra, what is their stuff like? You have before, Laura. What is their stuff like? Good quality on most products. Very, very cool. Very cool. So you obviously bought clothing from them because they sell stuff in addition to clothing, I understand. Oh yeah, the customs costs are less. Yeah, because we were told that anything that comes in from China will have a 45% custom surcharge on it. And I think we're not paying the full 45% on some of the Sheen items. And why did you stop? The quality wasn't what was expected. Yeah. No, I think that is a complaint from a lot of people. Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, so you know what material? Yeah, I suppose if they say that it's cotton, but you get cotton and you get cotton. You bought toys for your dogs. They were good quality. That's wonderful news, Laura. That's wonderful news. Toys for the dogs. I love that idea. Okay. So if we look at what we have here, we talk quality, we talk price, we talk value for money and functionality. If I say to you, what is your dream car at this point? What is your dream car? Who has the idea of what their dream car is? What is your dream car? Oh, I see, JD. Yep, that's the way. BMW M2 competition, one that ride Lamborghini Urus. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm in the wrong class. SUV Bentley. Um, my dream car is way too heavy on fuel. Lime grey M3 CS 2020 model. Very, very cool. Brent, what is yours? Oh, 69 fastback. Hermanus, I think you and I might be have been separated at birth, although I think I'm about 4 times your age. Yeah, I must admit that 67, 68, and 69 Mustangs are fantastic. Brent, VW, which one? It'll be a GTI, is it? Let me get that there. VW GTI. A GTI is about 900 at the moment. No, GTI is a million, isn't it? Or is it over a million? I saw one second hand 25 model for 839 the other day. Well, it's interesting because when it comes to cars, where do we place ourselves in terms of the generic strategies? Where do we place ourselves in terms of the generic strategies? So those are our options. Where are we in terms of generic strategies? No, that is ridiculous. I agree, goodness. What the Chinese are doing exceptionally well is they're forcing others to bring their cars prices down. The new Toyota FJ Cruiser has launched at 720,000 Rand. Well, and that on top. Yeah, that and that is all because of what the jet tours and those vehicles have done. 720,000 for a Toyota FJ Cruiser is a very good price point to launch because that is an exceptional off-road vehicle and it has a lot of aspirational stuff. So in terms of our dream cars, where do those fit in? BMW competition, Golf GTI. I would imagine over here, I don't know if anyone is in agreement with that. Because when you drive any of those, you stand out from the crowd. I mean, the reality is you stand out from the crowd. So we know that our dream vehicles are there at differentiation. I think when we look at some of your dream vehicles, the Urus and oh my gosh, what were some of the others there? M3 Porsche Cayenne. I would imagine that we're moving into focus differentiation. So this is not just exclusive. This is rock star exclusive. So we can see how those kinds of aspirational things fit into a differentiation, a unique stand out from the crowd approach. Now I'm going to ask the question, what vehicle do you currently drive? What vehicles do you currently drive? And if you don't want to say, you don't have to. And if you drive your dream vehicle now, I'm going to be really irritated because students shouldn't drive better cars than me. So let me see. JD, you drive your feet. Oh dear gosh. It has a new owner, Mikhail. Oh my gosh. Okay. The bank didn't repossess it, did it? Toyota, I'm teasing, boy. Toyota Igo. Mercedes C200, very nice, very nice. Cherry Tiggo 7, very good choice. Very good choice. Opel Grandland, very, very nice. Obviously, yeah. Has Peugeot, is the Grandland Peugeot? Oh my gosh, I didn't know that actually. I must admit, because I think I've said in class before that I did my master's and my PhD in the auto industry, and I have a very close link to the auto industry. Still, I didn't know Grandland had Peugeot with it. So if we start looking at Cherry Tiggo 7, we can see how we're looking more at, where is that? This one here. The reality of good value for money, good quality. If we look at Peugeot 208, I would imagine we're still in this kind of integrated best value. Toyota Igo. So Toyota Igo, I would put into cost leadership. And what makes the Toyota such good value for money is that Toyota makes sure that whatever they do, every time they become more efficient on their production line, they make sure that they pass the savings on to their customers. Okay. Opel Grandland, for me, has to be best value as well. I did see a Mercedes 200. You see, for Mercedes 200, I would place there. I think it is about the uniqueness. The Toyota Igo, I would imagine cost leadership maybe, or integrated best value. It'll be somewhere there. Oh my gosh. Laura, what have you got? You break that twice in 2 years. What the heck? I mean, that, yeah, I don't. Now, you see, I'm old enough to say this. They don't build them like they used to. Or Laura is a Friday night racer, drag racer. Where do you drag race, Laura? Yeah, in a car as well. In a car as well. Now, Brent has kept very quiet because Brent has a fancy looking something on his page there. Yeah, no, true. You're okay. Can you see how where we aspire to be is always going to be in the differentiation, focused differentiation? Where we are is either best value. Most of us are in the best value, cost leadership. I see no one is here focused cost. What car would we put into a focused cost strategy? Your two brake pads twice in the last 2 years. Your Laura, that is a lot of driving, obviously. Brent is still very quiet. I wonder what Brent has said. I think Brent might be driving one of these aspirational vehicles. JD, we'll sort out that once you get this degree that you get a great job. So you, Mikhail Polo, yeah, good value for money. In fact, for me, Volkswagen is just special. There's something very special. GTI obviously brought differentiation. You see, the one that I think fits in there. Sorry, hold on a second. So for me, the Chinese vehicles for me are mostly the best value because you get really, really good quality. You get all the bells and whistles, and you pay a very good price. Beijing, yeah, maybe Beijing. I saw a non-Feng the other day, and I thought, what the heck is a non-Feng? What options do they have? Oh, bake, yeah. Beijing car. Oh gosh, where price in South Africa? Oh no, that's best value. Yeah, the one that I thought fits this one is this one, the Bajaj Bajaj car. Yeah, I think all the vehicles from China, because they are so heavily subsidized by the government, are really good value for money. So the Bajaj, I would put that in. I'm so sorry, I'm going to pick on the poor Bajaj tonight. I don't even know I'm saying it right. Volvo for me is focused differentiation. Volvo is definitely focused differentiation because if we lived in Switzerland, it would be differentiation. But here, there are not many Volvo buyers. And I know 2 years ago, they cut their prices, depending on the models, from 100 to 150,000 because they hadn't moved enough items in a year. So this is the Bajaj. I don't, yeah. So you can get it. Woegenuchtig. Here's the official Bajaj South.co.za. Oh gosh, the motorcycles. There's the cute. Oh my gosh, Bajaj cute. Um, who could see themselves in one of those? Never driving that. Lolita. Come on, rather than feet, JD, rather than walking, or do you still rather walk? It's definitely easy to park. I mean, it's very easy to park. It definitely is easy to park. I To be honest with you, if I could get it for free and I could take it to where I lecture varsity, that is the Bolt one, boy. Bolt has embraced it. Oh, sorry, goodness. Bolt has embraced it 100%. So I've never been in a Bolt, so I can't say. And not, I don't think I will use Bolt if I had to travel in one of those, to be honest with you. I don't think I could. JD wants to keep walking. I would imagine if I won one in a competition, I'll drive that to Emirates in Maritzburg every day and back. I mean, it's definitely going to be lighter on my car than my car on fuel. Yeah. And the one thing is the embarrassment. No, goodness, I've not been in one. I've not seen one, and I've definitely not been in one. But yeah, no, well, if it's Mikhail, he will make this thing go extra fast. So I think Mikhail is the person that will put a polo polo engine in there and and start racing it. Or JD can start racing it during her drag racing career. Rims and a body. Yeah, boy, absolutely. Rims and a body kit. Sorry. Rims and a body kit. And lowered suspension, boy. Yeah, I have seen them. I quite like that idea. It is just, I think if we think how congested city centers are and some of the European cities are, the one person car is a wonderful idea, and you can park it on a literally a postage stamp. So, for me, it is one way of reducing cost. I don't know how safe those Bajajes are. That I will have to admit, I'm not sure how safe those are. So if we look at the Bajaj, I think that fits in there. Um, I think it's got a very clearly defined niche. I think it is the 1%, maybe 2% of the population that will look at that and go, I will be interested in that. I think most vehicles fit in here. I think most of the Chinese vehicles fit in there. I know that the new Cherry 9, I don't know what it's called, is a million now. It's over R1 million. But it is part electric, part petrol driven. It's over R1 million. So it's the first million plus Chinese vehicle that has arrived here. But from what I've read in terms of the tests, it is stand out from the crowd special. I can't see myself paying over R1 million for a Chinese car, and that's just from where I am. I've always driven Volkswagen, 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 Volkswagen. I recently bought a Ford, and I regret not buying Volkswagen again. So it's yeah. I don't know if I could pay over 1 million for a Cherry. Yeah, I miss my Volkswagen, boy. I get in, I drive my wife's Tiguan just to remind me how good Volkswagens are, how good VWs are. So my wife always wants to know where her Tiggy is. So because I'm driving a Tiggy. So that's my reality now. Yeah, very reliable. So, guys, in terms of that, that is the options that we have. I quite like this layout because it gives us a clear summary. I think these are the kinds of things you do the day before the exam because it highlights some of the key elements that we would look at. Any questions, any comments on any of those? So let's do this slightly different. Goodness is typing there. So if we look at fast food outlets, what would be the cost leadership option? What would be the cost leadership option when we look at fast food outlets? McDonald's tells us, and I'm going to just say what McDonald's say. McDonald's tells us they differentiated. I certainly don't believe that McDonald's is differentiated. See, I see McDonald's and KFC as this sort of best value. So the one that comes to mind, and I've not tried this, but I was told because one of their managers was on my course, he was one of the regional managers, was this one, Hungry Lion. I don't know if they are everywhere. Um, so there is the Hungry Lion. Has anyone ever tried Hungry Lion? Oh, very cool, boy. Let's see what their buckets are. To be honest, I work for them, so I get a kickback every time you order from them. So just mention my name, and you'll get an extra 10% off, so that I can get my commission from them. 279 for a bucket. Oh, we can do a comparison here. We can do a comparison here. KFC bucket. KFC 20. This is illegal piece bucket. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, mention my name at KFC as well. I get a discount. I get commission from them as well. Oh gosh, where are their buckets? Oh, if somebody's gonna, oh, they've got a 21 piece bucket. So let's see, let's see, let's see. So why are you not telling me a price? Oh, you would like, so you're not telling me the price. Yeah, well, mention my name, Laura. Please, please mention my name. Please mention my name. So they're not going to tell me how much a 20-piece bucket is. I'll accept your cookies as well. Oh my goodness me. What awful people are these? Okay. That is ridiculous. Let's see if I go via this. Oh, so they're not telling me how much a 20-piece bucket is. Evil. Absolute evil. To me, menus must have fun. I'll start an order. Yeah, I think we'll have supper together. We'll have a bucket of chicken that we'll email to each other. I think I don't know what KFC is. If somebody wants to check on their app quickly to what a 21 piece KFC bucket is, I would. Oh, I've got the app here. Mr. D. We'll go to Mr. D and see what it is. Meneer D. Okay. So I am taking orders now, guys. So let me know what you need. Please let me know what you need. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. The surprise, JD. Yeah, where chicken. Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm gonna get fired, guys. This why was any fired? Well, he was ordering chicken while we were in class. KFC. Oh my gosh. We'll go KFC Hayfields. Genachtig, where are the buckets? 21-piece bucket. Oh no, gosh, guys, a 21-piece bucket is 377. 377. Always do 377. That is 100 Rand more than this. So for me, KFC is still good value. I think this is in terms of what we have here. That is a big difference, hey guys. I don't know whether there's a markup. Maybe there is a markup. I don't know. They don't have their menu, but I don't think Mr. D can have such a big markup. Hey, don't think he can be such a big markup. I think cost leadership. I think Hungry Lion certainly. Oh, really, Boya? Oh, I didn't know that. Cost leadership for me is Hungry Lion. I see KFC still here. For differentiation, which one would you say in terms of chicken meals for differentiation? I I still think that Nando's fits in there. Brent loves junk food, so he knows his prices. I think for me, Nando's still fits in there. Nando's chicken, where honchos, I don't know if you guys know what honchos are. Yeah, definitely Nando's. I agree with you. I don't know if anyone has honchos in their area. Oh, you love honchos. Honchos are very good value for money. So for me, they are low cost option. Honchos. Yeah, they by our varsity. So by where the local university is, you'll know where the best price deals are normally in terms of food places. Our menu, okay, our menu. Come on, okay, yeah, okay, maybe we can look at that. But I think honchos definitely fits in there. Not that it means it's cheap and nasty. Their quality is still thank you, Azra, for that. Thank you so much for doing that. Oh, the AI and Google. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, it might not be in the Cape where Pedro's as well. Pedro's for me is where Nando's is there. Pedro's, I think, fits into this. My students mentioned another one today. Machachos. I don't even know if we have machachos. No, we have got in Maritzburg because my students say they're in Peter Maritzburg. Machachos um, and when we look at focused cost, this is one of those. So we in Maritzburg have, and I don't know if they're very similar to anchos. That's what I was told. Where okay, yeah, in Maritzburg we have something called karanichas. Now karanichas, you can get a meal for about 20 Rand, and it really is good value. Now I've never had it, and I don't know if it's just the Peter Maritzburg one, Karanichas. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that one. And there you can get a meal for 20 Rand. And for me, they definitely for me are focused costs because they're all vegetarian. For me, ek is Afrikaans. If there's not meat in something, I don't eat. It's not food. It's awful to admit that, but that's just being Afrikaans, guys. And then focus differentiation for me, now we're moving. As an Afrikaanse ding, Hermanus would understand exactly, as daar nie vleis is nie, is dit nie kos nie. Now watch Hermanus tell me to kos. So you might be Afrikaans. Goodness, you must be Afrikaans. I was waiting for Hermanus to tell me that he's a vegetarian, and I was going to cry for on his behalf. I think for me, focus differentiation is the Kauai type is the Kauai type places because Kauai doesn't appeal to a broad group of people. Okay, guys, the one thing that I want to just guard against, if you can, one of the issues that we sometimes have with this chapter is you will see generally in the exam, they'll ask us, generally in the assignment, they'll ask us, what are the 6 tests for evaluating a strategy? I think please remember, these are the criteria that you would use to evaluate the strategy. Every time I mark an assignment, people just try and make up whether this is a strategy that is worth pursuing. Please put this somewhere into your memory. These are the criteria. So if you are a BMW and you are following a differentiation strategy, the criteria that you would use to measure whether that is still the right thing to do is appropriateness. So appropriateness means we're looking at our resources, our capabilities. You remember in first semester we spoke about the inside out perspective, where our resources and capabilities determine whether we can compete or not. Remember the resource-based view. All of these things will resonate with you, or should resonate with you, versus what is happening externally in terms of the market environment, where our competitors and other things are, and the pestle factors. Feasibility is whether we have the resources to actually pursue this particular strategy. So BMW has done it for a long time. They have the resources, and certainly they will be able to remain unique, keep the differentiation, my apologies, the differentiation going. Desirability is, are we exposing our organization to risk? Is it the right time to adopt a new strategy? Can we essentially, with our hands on our hearts, tell our shareholders that we are not going to expose our organization to risk by following the strategy? And then it has to be consistent. So it has to align with your vision. It has to align with your mission statement, your value statement, your long-term and other objectives. And then in deciding the strategy, we've not sucked the idea of why we're going to use the strategy out of our thumbs. We have actually done the groundwork. We've done our initial investigations, and our results and the findings of those investigations are based on actual data. And then lastly, guys, is this attractive to our stakeholders? I think there are many ways of making money in the world. And one of the ridiculous examples that I use quite often is, as a group of people sitting here right now, we can go to K-Way and buy ourselves boots and jackets and warm clothes. We can go to Total Sports, listen to all the advertising, guys. I'm trying to get onto social media and get sponsorships here. We can go to Total Sports and buy ourselves some baseball bats. We can then hire a ship to go to the Southern Oceans and get to the South Pole, and then we can club seals to death. These young baby seals, and they're beautiful. We can sell their pelts, etc. The question is it the right thing to do? I think one of the things that companies sometimes miss out on is, and I would never do that, obviously, but I think sometimes companies are quite ruthless in how they decide to make money. And I think sometimes when governance issues become clouded, companies will have strategies that might offend their stakeholders, that might offend their shareholders. So we have to ask ourselves, is this the right thing to do? Recently, Mercedes announced that they cannot, as a brand, survive as an exclusive vehicle. So they have to find new ways of making money. Now, they have partnered with Chinese firms, and they said that in future, Mercedes will not be considered a luxury vehicle anymore. The reality, though, is Mercedes-Benz, the name shouts luxury. How are you not a luxury vehicle if your car's name is Mercedes-Benz? I don't know how they are going to market themselves, reposition themselves, whether they'll change the name because Mercedes-Benz is exclusive, whether they'll become, remember, and those of you that are slightly older, initially it was Kentucky Fried Chicken and they rebranded themselves to KFC. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I think you're all too young to remember that. Does anyone remember the rebrand of Kentucky Fried Chicken to KFC? Because there were issues, and I'm not going to guess what they were. There were suggestions that they had hormones in the chicken. I'm not going to comment on that. Whether Mercedes-Benz are going to simply now be known as MB or something like that, I don't know. But how attractive is that kind of change in their strategy? Is it appropriate? They'd have to change everything. And I would imagine they'd have to change their name as well. Is it feasible? Yes. They can start selling best value vehicles, but it doesn't make sense for a Mercedes Benz. Yeah, maybe that's the future that we have. The Mercedes Bajaj, the MB Bajaj. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they rebrand itself. For me, from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense. No, no, and it'll be interesting to see how this comes out in the wash. Because in terms of those tests right now with the name Mercedes-Benz, they are going to fail if they are trying to tread into the Chinese territory and start competing with the Chinese brands. I think they will struggle to do it. And remember those six guys, because every time I mark an assignment and there's a question on how appropriate is the strategy, honestly, 60% of the students will just guess it and I will not be able to give marks. So please remember that. So, in a very short nutshell, that is the slides. Those are the slides, guys, in a nice summary. So that what I'm saying is this is ideal to work through the process, but also please just remember right before the exam, this is nice territory for doing a little bit of revision. Can I ask that? And I know that I absolutely despise giving homework to my students because all of you work, all of you are overwhelmed with work. But when you get a bit of time and you can take your time away from other modules, please work through some of these and start getting exam ready. We can check what your answers are in class. I think we can certainly do that together. You'll see that I've made it very obvious. You'll see there is lowest price, and I think I've used PEP. Um, you can answer PEP, and PEP is definitely a low price option. I don't know if anyone has seen PEP, Mr. PEP, PEP Home. I don't know if anyone's ever been in a PEP home. They're not bad, guys. They're not bad at all. They're at a lower level than Mr. Price. They certainly are at a lower level than Mr. Price. But I think they're fantastic. We were looking for something that we couldn't find anywhere, and they had a whole pile of these in PEP. And yeah, we bought it. I mean, I had no issue with that. I quite like that. It's not bad at all. I don't, I mean, I wouldn't shop at PEP, but when I had kids and you buy an item for your baby and 3 months later that item is too small, I had no issue buying baby clothes from PEP Home, from PEP, because they grew out the clothes so quickly. They outgrew the clothes so quickly. I don't know if I could see myself shopping at PEP now, but who knows? Who knows? Guys, please, yeah, this is my approach to this. We are going to integrate some of this next time. Please do me a favor, as I said, work through these cases and questions and get ourselves geared towards the exam. I Absolute pleasure. I quite like this approach as well. Please give me feedback on the approach, guys. I appreciate you attending, and take care of each other. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much. Please, cheers, everyone. I'll stay behind if anyone has any questions for a few minutes. Cheers, cheers, all. Pleasure, guys. Pleasure. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers, Lolita. Cheers, Hermanus. Is you okay?